Want to you sharing taking care of our planet and cook delicious meals? Stay in this video. Hi, I'm Ingrid. Thank you for visiting my cooking channel. Today I'm going to share with you 3 recipes for making bread snacks. I'm going to show you how to make bread with or without oven. I'll be making sweet bread, sandwich bread, and vegetable bread. Subscribe to my channel to receive more ideas for cooking easy and delicious meals. Zucchini and seeds bread, spinach and oregano flatbread, and cinnamon rolls. Spinach and oregano flatbread. These are the ingredients for this green flatbread. You will need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of melted butter, and 1 cup of warm soy milk. To begin with this bread, we're going to mix all wet ingredients. Add the melted butter, the activated yeast, and the spinach juice. Now we're going to add the dry ingredients, 3 cups of flour with flour, and mix well. I forgot to add the oregano, but I'm still on time to do it. You can use a bread machine to help you with the dough, or a mixer, or by hand. When all ingredients are well incorporated, divide the dough. What I did was I divided the dough in half and then one part of that in half because I want to make 2 flatbreads and another one big for another recipe. Make the flatbread, let it sit for 40 minutes and then bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. I couldn't wait to eat this bread, so when it was still warm, I have this pico de gallo ready, a black bean burger that I have in the freezer, and I am stuffing this to make a nice sandwich. I also added some lettuce. So good. Enjoy! Zucchini and seeds bread. These are the ingredients for this crusty bread for sandwiches. You will need 6 cups of whole wheat flour, 2 tablespoons of dry yeast, half teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of warm soy milk, 1 cup of grated zucchini, 1 tablespoon of sugar, half teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of melted plant-based butter, 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, and 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. Or add the seeds of your preference. In a big bowl, mix the whole wheat flour with the dry ingredients and mix very well. In a 1/4 cup of warm soy milk, dissolve half teaspoon of flour and the yeast to activate it by proofing for 3 to 5 minutes. I added the flour because it gives food to yeast. Since the milk I'm using right now, it doesn't have sugar, so it is faster to proof the yeast or to activate the yeast. It is possible to kill the yeast if the water or the plant-based milk is too hot. So aim for about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Add the remaining ingredients such as the melted butter, the proofed yeast, zucchini, and half cup of warm soy milk. Save the rest of the soy milk in case you need it later. For this bread, use any plant-based milk you have. Mix all the ingredients with a spatula, bread machine, mixer, or by hand. Make soft movements and incorporate all the ingredients. When you see everything is incorporated, add the seeds and keep kneading the bread for about 5 minutes approximately if you are using a mixer. If you are kneading the dough by hand, add 5 to 7 more minutes if you want a fluffier texture. It depends on how consistent you need the bread. The next step is the rise of the bread. In a bowl, double the size of the dough, put a dry piece of cloth and sprinkle some flour to avoid the dough sticking to the fabric. Place the dough in the bowl and sprinkle more flour on the surface. Cover with the piece of the remaining cloth and let it rise for 3 hours. If your house is warm, it may take just 2 hours. Have the pan or oven hot to cook the bread. I'm using double pan to diffuse the heat evenly on the bottom of this pan. If you don't have an oven, cook the bread at low temperature for 30 minutes. The way I'm showing you. Then flip the bread and cook for another 20 minutes. If you are baking the bread in the oven, bake for 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Cool completely before slicing the bread. And here is whole wheat bread for sandwiches cooked on the stove. I love the shape of this particular bread because I get long slices, perfect for a veggie sandwich. The first thing I did next day was to make a sandwich, really simple, with some sauteed veggies, lettuce, tofu. I slightly toasted the bread with plant-based butter on each side. This is a huge and amazing sandwich for 2 people, packed with protein and fiber. Enjoy! Let's continue with the next recipe, cinnamon rolls. These are the ingredients for 12 rolls approximately. You will need 3 cups of whole wheat flour, 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast, half teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of warm soy milk, 1/3 cup of sugar, half teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of melted plant-based butter, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of ginger powder, half teaspoon of cardamom powder, half cup of almond flakes, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. If you are allergic to peanuts, use any other nut butter. In a big bowl, mix the whole wheat flour with the dry ingredients, including the active dry yeast. Mix everything very well. Add the remaining ingredients and remember to add the soy milk warm, minimum temperature 105 degrees Fahrenheit approximately. Again, use any plant-based milk or just water. Mostly, I add soy milk to bread to make more nutritious and add a little source of protein too. Mix all the ingredients by hand or mixer. Knead the bread for 5 minutes in the mixer or about 10 minutes by hand. Don't you worry about the aspect of the dough. This is how it looks when it is 100% whole wheat flour. Next step, grease the bowl where you're going to proof the bread and coat the dough with oil too to avoid a crust formation. Let it proof for 3 hours. After this time, shape the dough into a rectangle or a square, let's say this is a square, and a 1/4 inch thick approximately. Mix the cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and sugar, brown sugar. Optional, spread some melted butter to the rectangle surface and then sprinkle with the sugar and cinnamon mix. Roll up the dough and cut into 12 pieces. Use a sharp knife and cut slowly to keep the shape of the little rolls. Then place in a greased pan if you're going to cook them on stove, or grease a baking sheet or a mold if you're going to bake them in the oven. Let the shaped rolls rise for 1 hour. Cover completely with a piece of cloth or the lid of the pan. On the stove, cook for 20 minutes for one side, then flip the rolls and cook for 10 more minutes. In the oven, bake for 20 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In the link above, find the full recipe for protein-packed chocolate chips cookies. And here are these amazing rolls. I can't wait to try these cinnamon rolls. For the glaze, mix 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. While the rolls are slightly warm, spread the glaze mix and finish with some almond flakes or crushed nuts of your preference. Remember to subscribe and click the bell to be the first in receiving these healthy and nutritious recipes. Enjoy! If you like these ideas about taking care of the environment and my recipes, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. And I hope you're recycling. Bye-bye.